I wish it was Christmas today. I wish it was Christmas today.
Christmas every day. Christmas every day. Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. From Gallatin, Tennessee, welcome to Christmas Every Day. This is the podcast that keeps the spirit of Christmas alive all year long. My name is Troy, and I'm your host. So if this is your first time checking in with us, thank you, thank you, thank you. We can't thank you enough. We want you to know we do Christmas all year long. So we release a new episode almost every Friday. So, Christmas never really has to end. And that means if you need some Christmas in January, if you need some in May, if you need it in October, we've got you covered. We do Christmas all year long, almost every Friday. And so listen, a few weeks ago, we did the Santa Claus episode where we talked about Santa Claus, and we asked a bunch of our listeners who they thought the best Santa is. And my wife chimed in, and this is the first time she's ever answered any kind of, really, the first time she's ever really communicated with the podcast on like any of the social medias or anything like that. So I thought it was really nice of her to do that. I love it that she did that. And she gave us her thoughts on Instagram. So my wife, Ashley, says, I'm past deadline. However, I've got two best Santas for you. The first is Edmund Gwynn from Miracle on 34th Street. He's my favorite. The second is Billy Bob Thornton from Bad Santa. He is the best, worst Santa ever and did a phenomenal job. I know these movies are old and very different in tone. However, both actors put their own unique personality and spin into bringing their version of Santa to life, and to me, that's what makes both of these movies and their starring Santas classics. End quote, honey. That's just one of the many reasons why I chose this beautiful woman to be my wife, honey. I agree 100% with both of those assessments, because Edmund Gwynn, he's generally my favorite Santa. And Billy Bob totally makes an excellent bad Santa. So great call on both of those. Thank you, honey. You're going to have to chime in more often because you're making all kinds of sense. And on that same note, we have a message this week from Peter, and he reached out to us on TikTok, and I still don't love TikTok, although I have to admit it's pretty dadgum amusing at times. It totally can be. Anyway, Peter reached out to us and he says, quote, Merry Christmas from Louisville, Kentucky. My vote for the best Santa is David Harbour from Violent Night. I'm not sure if he is the first sort of action hero Santa, but I love having Santa in that kind of role. Tim Allen is a close second. And I nominate Gary Oldman to play Scrooge, end quote. So yeah, we were talking about Scrooge in last week's episode, and so Peter nominates Gary Oldman for Scrooge, and I second that emotion. So that's an interesting choice, Peter, for the best Santa, and thanks for reaching out. We appreciate that. I haven't seen Violent Night. Look, in all honesty, I haven't had the desire to watch that movie. I may carve out some time to watch it this holiday season, but that one just never really made it onto my radar for some reason. And it's I don't know. I don't know why it didn't. It just didn't. It doesn't appeal to me for whatever reason. But I'll still wind up watching it. And Peter, I really appreciate the input. So I'm pretty sure that we probably ought to do the countdown.
Santa's coming to town. Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him.
Okay, it is only 238 days until Christmas. Look, it's about 5 weeks. We're closing in on the 200-day milestone. And you know what? Before you know it, Hobby Lobby, they're going to have their Christmas stuff out. And, it's just going to be crazy. Everybody's going to be shopping like crazy. Amazon's going to be going nuts. That's when you know it's going to get serious. And in addition to it only being 238 days until Christmas, as our new part of this countdown, it is only 55 days until Leon Day, which everybody knows is June 25th, and that's the official halfway point to Christmas. Now, Leon Day is on a Thursday this year, so there might be a special episode to commemorate the halfway point to Christmas on Leon Day. I'm kind of looking forward to it. It might be like epically bad. I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, let's get. Oh, I need a drink of this hot chocolate. That is some kind of good. So it's been a really hectic week, okay, and that's kind of putting it mildly. So work's been, kind of crazy. I've had like a weird schedule, just kind of up and down. Like I got to be in early one day, and then regular time the next day, and then early the next day, and then early the next day, and then regular time. And I know there hasn't been that many days in the week, but it's just it's kind of been like that. And gosh, it's just been kind of crazy. I'm a little sleep deprived, and man, I'm just having one of those weeks. Do you guys ever have one of those weeks where you're just kind of a Scrooge, And it's not that you're just ugly to everybody and just mean, but you're just kind of cranky and like irritable. It's also one of those weeks where like nothing sounds good, Like dinner time rolls around and you're like, oh God, nothing sounds good. Nothing sounds like anything that I would want to eat right now. And, or I get in the car to like go to work or, to the store or whatever. And, I've gotten tons of options. I can stream in a podcast or some music, or, a lot of times I'll stream in a YouTube video, even though, I won't watch it while I'm driving, but I can still listen to it. I could stream in anything else. I could listen to the radio, and just, nothing sounds appealing. It just kind of sucks. Nothing on TV looks good. And, like when I go to bed at night, I usually fall asleep listening to an audiobook, and like none of the books in my library, and not even like my old faithfuls, nothing interests me at all. So it's just one of those weeks where, nothing sounds interesting, nothing sounds good to eat, nothing sounds good to listen to. It's just funky, surely I'm not the only one who experiences that. So I usually have a week like that, and like that's been this week, like totally this week. As of this recording, it's right now Thursday night. What's today? The 3rd? Is today the 30th? 29th? I think today's April 29th. And this episode will come out tomorrow morning, but it's Thursday night, and it's just been all week. Like nothing's good. It's just weird. And I usually have a week like this once every 3 or 4 months. And I don't know, I guess it's just something that I'm going to have to live with, maybe like for the foreseeable future, but I don't know. I can't stand it. But the question that comes to my mind is, how can you keep yourself in the Christmas spirit when you're having a week, like I'm having this week? And I got to tell you, it's not always easy, but I have learned that if I do a couple of certain things that are related to Christmas, it improves my mood by a pretty good amount. And there's actually 3 of them that I like to try to do. I think I need to tell you about them. So the first one is that I try to keep an ambient Christmas video going on in the background around me somewhere. Now, I'm lucky enough that I have an office at work where I can put my laptop or my iPad on my desk, and, I can keep YouTube videos going all day long. And, there's a ton of ambient Christmas videos on YouTube, and, you can find them with music, without music, different backgrounds, different, scenery. A lot of them just have like a cool little wallpaper and maybe some holiday sound effects like the wind howling or sleigh bells, something like that. And I just find that so relaxing to have some kind of ambience going on around me. So to where it's not just like full stimulus, but it's background noise. And a lot of the times it's going to be Christmas related. It's going to sound like winter, or there's going to be Christmas music playing. And oftentimes it's something that I can look at, and there'll be like Christmas lights or a cool little Christmas village, or, maybe it's some kind of little slideshow of different Christmas stuff. And I've always found that doing that is just incredibly relaxing, and it helps me to concentrate on whatever it is that I'm doing. It actually helps me to concentrate with something else going on in the background like that. And it just makes me happy if it's Christmas related. So that's what I like to do. That's the first thing that I like to do. And my favorite ambient Christmas video is of a little Christmas village, and it's by the YouTube channel is called 3 Squaresoft. It's the number 3 and then the words Squaresoft, and it's just the neatest little, animated village that you ever saw. It's like somebody just looked into my mind and they were like, "Yep, Troy would like this little Christmas village right here," and then they just put it up on YouTube, and I love it. It's just like I've never wanted to like live anywhere that was like a cartoon, but I totally want to live in this village. Anyway, I put a link in the show notes if you want to check it out, and I really, really recommend that you do, because it's just a great little. It's like an hour long. It's just or 2 hours long. It's like a great little clip. Just the perfect little Christmas village that I've ever seen in my life. But ambience videos, if I can have it around me, I've always got something going, because, and especially when I'm having a week like this, because it does help me to relax, and it does help me to, maybe focus a little bit better if I'm struggling with that, if it's on in the background. So ambient Christmas videos, definitely a plus. I do like it. I mean, you can do ambient Christmas songs or music, but it helps me if I can just look at the screen once in a while and be like, "Oh, that looks really cool," or "Wow, that's just such a great little wallpaper." So I like for it to be videos. It can be ambient Christmas music for you, if that's what you like. Obviously, I do my thing, you do yours. The second thing that I like to do that helps my mood out when I'm having just an awful week, I like to go on kind of a scavenger hunt of sorts. And over the years, I've found out that if I'm kind of grumpy and, I'm not really able to pay attention to very many things, and it doesn't happen very often, but I'll go through weeks like this where, it's not just like 2 days and I'm over it. It's like a full week. It's insane. I've found out over the years that if I'm like, grumpy and I can't pay attention to very many things, then I'll make up something to look for that I can focus my attention on. And as it relates to Christmas, I like to look for music that I've never heard before. And now, as of, some of our longtime listeners know, my Christmas music knowledge pretty much ends right around 1994. And so I'll just go into Spotify and I'll start searching for Christmas music. But I don't do like a general search for Christmas music, because that's just going to bring up all the stuff that I already know. So I'll look for something like, for like a playlist that might be called like Weird Christmas or Funny Christmas, Crazy Christmas, just, whatever. And, I'll look for, 5 or 10 minutes at a time. And after doing that, I'm feeling better. I think it's just the act of, focusing on something that I'm just really interested in that helps me kind of pull everything together. And, there have been plenty of times when I didn't find anything that I like, but that doesn't mean, at all that the search was fruitless. So looking for new Christmas music, like putting myself in the position and being like, okay, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just look. I'm just going to see what's out there. And I guess it's just the making that decision and then just going through with it just kind of helps, put me in a little bit better mood. And it helps me to focus when I'm having trouble focusing. And I don't generally have issues like that. But like I said, once a week, every, 3 or 4 months, and, I just totally fall apart apparently. And this is one of those weeks, but that really helps me out too. And then the last thing that I do when I'm having a week is, I just start kind of making plans for the upcoming holiday season. So this week alone, I've already found 2 Christmas markets that I didn't know about that I want me and my wife to go to, and also a play performance of A Christmas Carol that's going to be put on by one of the local churches around here. So just just, taking like 10 minutes and seeing, hey, what's going on with this, holiday season? What can we get into this year? So, that kind of serves two purposes. The first obviously is to find out about, cool Christmas stuff that we can go see during the holiday season. But secondly, it kind of gives me something to look forward to when I'm in the middle of having like a rough week. So, like I said, I found out about that play performance of A Christmas Carol, and now I've been thinking about that all afternoon. I was like, man, I really want to go see. I've never seen A Christmas Carol on stage before. So now I'm like, man, I really want to go see that. So I'm like totally pumped about going to see A Christmas Carol. It's not even going on till the second week of December. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to go. So it's giving me something to look forward to. And it it's kind of lifting my mood up a little bit. I'm not quite so cranky anymore. And, that says a lot. With me this week, that says a whole lot. But anyway, so yeah, it's just, it's been one of those weeks, but I found that when I do those three things, if I keep some Christmas ambience going on around me, when it's possible, when I look for upcoming events and different things to go see during the holiday season, and then when I go on like a little scavenger hunt for new Christmas music, that helps to keep me in the Christmas spirit when I'm having a rough week. And just in general, it doesn't even necessarily have to keep me in the Christmas spirit. It just makes me feel good to do that stuff because I do love Christmas a lot. And, whether it's to put me back in the spirit or whether it's just to lift my mood up a little bit, I find that if I do any one of those three things or two of those three things, it doesn't, or all three of them, it doesn't really matter. Then it helps me to feel better when I'm having a rough week. So anyway, that's my take on, how I make it through these rough weeks and try to stay in the Christmas spirit. So I would love to hear how you keep your Christmas spirit going, when you're having a rough week, and you can let me know at christmaseverydayshow@gmail.com. Okay, so we are going to wrap this thing up with the Christmas Carol of the Week. Now, you can check out the Christmas Everyday Christmas Carol of the Week Spotify playlist at the link in the show notes. I got to tell you, that it's turning out to be a pretty good list. It really is. It's turning out to be a good list. There's some really good songs on that. So anyway, this week's Christmas Carol, it's a song that I found on a recent scavenger hunt, like this week, for, new Christmas music. And it was in some playlist called, Weird Christmas or something like that. The song is called Modern Dreamer, and it's by a guy named Ken Belcher. And it's an instrumental song, and it just has a great, Christmas feel to it. It feels like it sounds like it should be in one of those ambience videos that I told you about. That's just, got a little snowy background, like Christmas tree lit up, and this song playing in the foreground. I think that would be just amazing. But let's go ahead and check out a couple of moments of this song, Modern Dreamer by Ken Belcher. Isn't that great? What a great song. Look, if that doesn't get you in a better mood after a rough week, if that doesn't put you back into the Christmas spirit, I don't know of much else that's going to. I just think that's a great song. And that's definitely going on one of my playlists. But anyway, that is Modern Dreamer by Ken Belcher. Check the link in the show notes for the Christmas Everyday Christmas Carol of the Week Spotify playlist. And also check the show notes for the ambience Christmas video, Christmas ambience video that I said the link, put a link in for. It's a great video. So good. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week. Listen, thank you so much for checking in with us. Next week's going to be a better one. It really can't help but be better. But thanks again. And from our house to yours, Merry Christmas.